Guys, I made a huge mistake. Last week, I reviewed the film Tully, as you may know, and in it, I did this. The film also stars Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron's character, Charlize Theron, oh my goodness.
Charlize Theron.
Yes, I know. I mispronounced Charlize Theron's name. Now, how do I even know how it's pronounced? Well, because of this.
I want to hear it now.
I go by Charlize Theron.
And, you know, I felt so bad about it, and I honestly didn't even realize my error until after the video was posted. But I had to do something about it. I had to come up with some sort of apology, especially because people were making such a big deal about it in the comments of the last video. So on behalf of myself and everything that this channel represents, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, Miss Theron, please, please, please forgive me. I'm so sorry, and it will never, ever happen again. Also, I'm wearing a suit for you. Okay, so now it's time for this week's movie review. Hi, I'm Dempsey Pillot, and this week I'm reviewing Life of the Party. Was directed by Ben Falcone and stars Melissa McCarthy. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the two are actually married in real life, and they've actually worked on some films together before in the past. Another thing to note about the film is that they actually helped co-write the movie together too. McCarthy stars as a recently divorced woman who decides to get her life back together by going back to college. And that's fine and dandy and all, and the whole twist with this movie is that she decides to go back to school with her daughter. And as you can imagine, hijinks ensue, except they don't. This film was very, very disappointing, and I wish I could say that it was better than it actually was, but yeah, I'm at a total loss of words here. You see, I went into this movie with an open mind. Usually, I stay away from films that she does with her husband. They generally don't appeal to me. But, you know, I was like, you know what, this seems promising. And boy, was I disappointed. As I said before, this film is unoriginal, it's unfunny, and the only thing that barely saves this movie is McCarthy. In addition to wasting McCarthy, this film features some great comedians who are also wasted, such as Maya Rudolph and Jillian Jacobs, who has this really weird and random storyline that ultimately only seems to serve one purpose at the end of the film. I was expecting for this film to be a female version of Old School. In the marketing campaign, it's heavily implied that it is very similar to Old School. I'm not lying, you can check it out right here. I would have even been happy if the film was similar to Superbad, you know, except for like the gender swapped. That's the feel that I thought this movie was going for. But ultimately, it ended up just being similar to this. Now, I don't want to blame Melissa McCarthy, even though she does have a co-writing credit for the film, but this film had a lot of lazy writing, and this film could have been a lot better, and it's a shame that it wasn't. There's just so much wrong with this movie, I don't even know where to start. If I had to choose a place to start, I would first and foremost talk about the fact that there's this weird subplot that takes place in an archaeology class that she's taking. Melissa McCarthy wants to go back to school to study archaeology, so she takes this class, and the professor just so happens to be Chris Parnell, who in my opinion is also wasted in this movie. And yeah, the film just follows this class very closely for a majority of the movie, as if it's the only class she's taking. And it also follows up with this presentation she has to give by the end of the semester. It's just really strange and really random, and I feel like they could have done so many other things, but they just decided to zero in on this archaeology class, which archaeology is not interesting to anybody, unless, you know, dinosaurs or Jurassic Park is involved. And yeah, speaking of Chris Parnell, him and Melissa McCarthy actually developed this funky relationship over the course of the movie, and it actually seems as if they're going to end up together. At least that's the impression that I got, and honestly I think it would have been more interesting had they followed that idea through, but ultimately it just amounts to nothing. Like I said, he's totally wasted in this film. The Disney Channel's Debbie Ryan from Jessie also appears in this movie, and she's a mean girl, and she's really bad at it. Honestly, I would have much rather seen her play one of Melissa McCarthy's gal pals at the college than a mean girl, because I feel like as a mean girl, they pretty much just try and sexualize her, which is awkward in a whole bunch of other different ways that I don't even want to begin to get into here. It's just very weird. This film is just way too much, and there's just so much wrong with it. Now, to my recollection, there are only about 3 really funny parts to this movie. And I know, despite everything I've said so far, it seems like this movie is just totally unfunny. And I will stick by that, it is, except for these 3 moments that I'm talking about. And I will honestly attribute 2 of those moments to Maya Rudolph, who is just great in everything. And once again, I feel like she's heavily underused in this movie. But in those 2 scenes that I'm talking about in particular, she steals the show and really, really, really made me laugh pretty hard. Now, the 3rd moment that I'm talking about, actually, I'll attribute to Melissa McCarthy, because it actually has to do with the slapstick humor that she's just so great at. And it actually takes place in the archaeology class. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I do know that some people will actually want to check this movie out. But yeah, 3 funny moments in the entirety of the movie. For a movie that's supposed to be a comedy, that's bad. Truth be told, I would wait until this film hit the $5 bin at your local Walmart or Target. Honestly, I would even wait until it hit FX or HBO or one of those channels on TV. I wouldn't be in any rush to go see this movie, even though I actually was in a rush to see it. But just so I could review it for you guys. Oh, man, this film was just so frustrating. And yeah, like I said, it's just disappointing, man. But I do know there will be some of you guys that this film does appeal to, and you know, I do hope you enjoy it. But I didn't like the film, as I said before, and for that I'm gonna give it 1.5 stars.
Oh my God!
Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please subscribe. You will not be disappointed. I do new movie reviews every week. This upcoming week in particular, I will be doing 2 movie reviews. One for Deadpool, obviously, because that's going to be the biggest release. And one for another that I'm going to keep under wraps, so you'll just have to stay tuned to see what that is. Also, by the end of the month, I'll be posting my first TV show season review for a show that I'm also not going to name. You'll just have to check that out as well. If you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Stardust. Stardust, as I mentioned before, is an app where you can actually review movies and TV shows on your own. It takes less than 30 seconds to sign up and less than 30 seconds to post your first movie review. I'll put all that information in the description below. But yeah, guys, thank you so much again for watching. I appreciate all the love and support thus far, and yeah, I look forward to doing these movie reviews, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch them. So until next time, I'm Pillot. Take care. And also, I'm really sorry, Charlize.